Good afternoon, Miss Gracia and classmate. Today we will speak about raisins during this interview with an expert on the subject, and we can talk based her experience. She is Milka Quintero, a Panamanian woman. She will share experience about how you feel or how they have been treated as foreigner in USA. Okay, we start. Hello, Milka. It is a pleasure to have you with us today in this interview, and I hope you feel comfortable with your experience.
Hi, Yisell. Good afternoon. The pleasure is mine, and to hear Ada by speaking about this experience with you. And hi, classmates.
The use of races attract a lot my attention, as I realized it was one of the biggest problems today. Given to these reasons, I decided to investigate and learn more about why so many people are being affected by this. According to William, racism is a moral and social disease that affects millions of people around the world. And he said it started many years ago when the Spaniard used African as as, as slaves to serve for a simple act to being black. Spaniard mistreated them and manipulate them until they did of abuse, depression, hunger, and other factors. Okay, how could you define racism, and when did it really start?
Okay. In effect, as you mentioned it, Giselle, it's a social and moral disease that affects millions of individuals and population around the world. It is a disease that can be seen from 1400 before Christ, when the Spaniard slave people were brought here from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
They were denigrated to the point that they become people without feelings, creating hatred towards others, ending in a circle within them. Racism, to me, is actually based on the superiority of some races or ethnic groups over others. And affected people can have negative effects. But until this day, Giselle, we still see this in the United States, where the affected people have negative effects such as fear, intolerance, separation, and hatred of others. It is given to several reasons such as race, color, culture, nationality, religion, and others. People who were more discriminated back in the 15th century were the blacks from Africa and other regions. These people used to use them as a slave because they were considered strong and enduring to all kind of treatment. Our culture, are the African Americans here in USA, they still are separated from the white. They have their own areas where they are together, But also in schools, sometimes you find schools where there are no black people, or there are not just only white people, basically. So until this day, we can still see it, have that hatred, other harm have grown so much.
Um, if raisins start because of all these factors already mentioned, then the big question is because why until today we still see much indifference toward black people, and not only them. Many countries discriminate foreigners are arriving to countries in search of better opportunity. Others discriminate or their Polish culture, religion, and others. Because there are so many laws and organizations today, racism remains one of the biggest social problems.
You're right, Giselle. Until this day, we can see a lot of discrimination, as we mentioned earlier. Now, a lot of it is because this has not healed completely. It is very sad that it's being passed from one generation to another, even for organizations. As you mentioned earlier, this is one of the biggest concerns and subjects they are looking to resolve.
Yes, that also happens to many people that discriminate against blacks since they are regarded as criminals. But cover tend to generalize then all the same way. But the reality is that many are strong people, worker who are struggling to get ahead and not to succumb to discrimination. Uh, Other, however, discriminate against foreigners because they consider people who only going to take one the opportunity of the people of the country. Uh, One the countries that discriminate uh, against foreigners in America, and this is due to its superiority in politics and as world power. But it is a problem that the Americans less try to fight every day and allow opportunity to foreigner and treat them the same as any other citizens. All, as all human beings have the same right wherever it is. No, you as a resident of the United States, how has been the treatment to foreigner in the work environment and city in general? In general, have you seen that the treatment on foreigner look beyond the USA?
Well, personal experience, Giselle, I can't complain. I am now, by the way, a USA national citizen. I'm not a resident anymore. I have had nothing but good experiences here in USA as a foreigner. But I have seen how people from Mexico, for example, have been separated, degraded, and even mistreated to the point that that's all we see on our TV, on the daily news, newspaper, right? So I'm sure you have seen it because it's beyond the USA where everybody else can see it, not just the people from Mexico or Hispanic, but also the colored people, how they call it in here. I have seen a lot of discrimination around me, but not necessarily towards me. Okay, so I've been lucky, if you can say that, or being blessed that I haven't had bad experience, nothing but just a lot of opportunities here. Also, when you're part of the minority here, there are also a lot of resources here, so I just also want to that part too, because it's not talking about the bad part, but also, yes, and as I was telling you, the only thing I found really hard for me is the language. Like when you don't speak the language the right way, the correct way, people see you like you're dumb, like you don't mind, you don't know, you're like kind of stupid. But it's not that you're not know things, it's just that you're having a hard time learning the language. So that's all.
Okay, very interesting, Milka. According to Fenton, he says that racism arises for different reasons, like some believing they are smarter than others, highly educated with a lot of money, or because they are white. This is because today our generation is the subject of an education neglect, and as a result of that, we may raising flourish among societies. We all know that raisins of reaction of our fellow men is nothing but a cynic abandonment in vain, and the abandonment make you act against others. Attitudes, value and raising system established openly or covertly. Uh, a pecking order among or racial groups used to justify the privilege or advantage which enjoys the dominant group. In your opinion, what negative effect has this attitude to those affect?
Well, the negative, in my opinion, the negative effect that this can produce in someone is that in the first place, they isolate from the rest of the world. They into a bad depression. I have seen it on some people around me where they are so depressed they don't feel like getting up and do anything at all. To the point where it can lead them to the suicide. I also believe that their self-esteem gets very affected, where they don't feel capable of accomplishing any goals in life at all. And other people can take advantage of it. So the problem gets worse and worse every time.
Okay, as these negative effects have affected many people for years, the United Nations to combat racism adopted in 1009 adopted in 1965 the International Convention of the Elimination of all form of racial discrimination, and establishes on March 29 as International Day for the Elimination of racial discrimination. And so in our country there are laws and regulations that protect those who are discriminated against for any reasons, because okay, there are several negative effects that are causing strong physical damage to those affected by racism. Oddly enough, is one of the biggest problems today, and that often goes unnoticed. This happens because of the lack of inculcate in childhood and young of today values. Definitely, better teaching population is the basis by giving better education to children and young people can begin to make big change. As if from a young age children are taught good values, they will implement them when big. Many consider that races should not exist and that within them have to take a sad history to be like. The truth is that racist people are so out of sheer ignorance, lacks or of clear thinking, and people with little education or who have never known what is to have to fight for things. The truth is that we are all equal, with better privilege than another, but that does not make them superior of others. We are all human Homo sapiens with a brain, 5 senses, one body, and one life to live. Who want to do less than the other half is its own reward as described in the Bible from the beginning. Ultimately, racism would be obsolete in a society where the needs were widely covered for everyone. In such a society, racist rhetoric and demagoguery no chance to grow. What can be done to eradicate racism is to work with immigrant associations devoting part of our leisure time to volunteer. You can organize and fight youth against racism. You can take a brush and erase all racist paint in neighborhoods. You can organize activity in your workplace or study. You can share information of publication and social network. You can enter information such as this. Can a short report any racism of facet at you look. You can do many things to eradicate racism. In conclusion, good after all, everyone in races and gray, all bad and underground.